a geologist. There are geologists who actually specialize in water flow issues for reasons that we don't have to get into now. And unfortunately, about 20-plus years ago, almost 30 years ago, I had reason to meet a lot of hydrologists, geologists, geologists who know about land movement and water flow. That's somebody that your parents might seek out as well to solve the immediate problem. I don't know when it's going to rain again, but it's gonna. So that problem should be looked at. And at the same time, the people constructing the house above, either the contractor or the owners, or probably both, might very well be civilly liable for whatever damages were sustained at your parents' house. You got all that?
Can I ask another question?
Of course.
I know that my parents have been talking to the neighbors, and the neighbors have offered a small amount of money to help pay for the damages. Do you think that I should go and talk to these people that you recommended and tell them not to accept that?
Well, I wouldn't accept anything until a couple of things happen. One is that your parents should be fully aware of all the damages, and if this happened recently, they may not be yet. There may be structural damage, for example. There may be mold, for example. These are things that have to be explored and determined. What may seem like a reasonable and complete settlement now may actually be very, very insufficient when all the damages and the nature and extent of the damages are learned. So I wouldn't do anything immediately, and I would certainly speak with legal counsel before any settlement is reached. You got it?
Okay.
You got it?
That's what I thought too.
Okay.
And I would also suggest that the type of damages, as you mentioned, family photos, things that can't be replaced, is the photos themselves may be worth on paper 5 cents, 2 cents to reproduce, but it's the emotional value to them that you would be or your parents would be allowed to collect on a liability. So make sure they're able to understand everything they lost, and it's important for them to not only understand what they lost, but be able to articulate its meaning to them, and that would also be part of the damages they're entitled to.
How do you calculate that though? Because I mean, they're irreplaceable, but I mean, what's like a rule of thumb for things that are irreplaceable but that aren't on paper worth that much?
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a rule of thumb. I think that it's a case-by-case determination. And again, that's something that your lawyer may help your parents, when they find a lawyer, that lawyer may help your parents determine the real value, the emotional value. It's going to depend upon each photograph, when it was taken, where it was taken, who's in it, is it completely damaged and perhaps lost? These are questions that a lawyer is going to ask, and a true evaluation process is going to have to be undertaken. It's not something that either Ryan or I could answer without just a boatload of knowledge and information based upon what was lost. You got all that?
I do.
Okay. Call us back in a couple of weeks and let us know that you found legal counsel.
I wanted to ask one more thing. If I want to ask an unrelated question, do I have to call back and wait in line again, or can I sneak in one more? If I have to call back, I will. I just didn't want to wait on hold again. Okay,
that's fair. If you want to tell the screener that you have a special VIP card to get up to the top, try that. If you can get by the screener, you've accomplished what you want, okay?
Okay, put in a good word for me.
Okay, thanks for calling Legal Help Live. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we're coming back, you'll be talking to us at 1-800-405-4222. That's the toll-free number to come in and talk to us again, 1-800-405-4222. And if you're on hold, stay on hold, because you don't want to get back to the end of the line again. Call us when we come back from our break, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Okay, we are back. Ralph here, Ryan there. We're here to answer your legal questions. Call us at 1-800-405-4222. We've got a lot of people who want to talk to us, so let's go right to the phones right now.
Let's do it.
Okay. Who's out there? Okay, line 1 is Wanda. Wanda, come on and talk to us.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Wanda. How are you today?
I'm okay. You know, I was wondering about when you spoke of the man on death row.
Yes.
I want to know what happens to the individual, the attorney, the lawyer, whoever withheld that evidence? What happens to that individual?
Well, that's part of what Ryan and I were talking about. The individuals who withheld evidence were parish prosecutors. They're like district attorneys. The district attorney in New Orleans is Harry Connick Sr. That's Harry Connick Jr.'s father, by the way. What the lawsuit was about was whether or not this poor man could file a lawsuit and collect his $14 million in damages from the county. Whether the U.S. Supreme Court in a 5-4 decision written by Justice Clarence Thomas said no, he can't, because there was no pattern and practice of wrongdoing. The dissenting justices said, yeah, there is a pattern and practice. This is going on a lot, and this poor man who was almost executed should get his $14 million. It should not be taken away from him. As far as what discipline was given out by the district attorney against the deputy district attorneys who tried the case, I don't know. That's not part of the litigation, but it would be something interesting to find out.
Yes, it would be, and each of those would be separate cases. Is that as an employee, you would have your own rights consistent with your employment. To be separate than the lawsuit against him, that was a civil lawsuit for $14 million, which is also separate than the man's appeal to even get away from the criminal conviction. And so it's the current lawsuit was not about what type of discipline the district attorney should have, although I'm sure there had been something about it. Just not in this part.
Yeah, not part of that. But do you believe in karma? If you believe in karma, these deputy DAs have a future lifetime of wondering how they could possibly intentionally do that to another human being and almost cost that man his life. Not only that, but you think about it, if this man who was on death row for 14 years and almost executed didn't do the crime, didn't commit that murder, who did, and why wasn't that person prosecuted? That person wasn't prosecuted because the district attorneys in New Orleans